Hey guys, welcome. I'm Jamie and my channel is the Quilting Compound, and today I'm going to sew block 2 of the pressed flowers sew along from the sew sampler box. And if you notice behind me, the quilt here is the Casa pattern from the May sew sampler box also. So I wanted to show you that. It's really cute, really quick to put together. So if you are a member or you get the subscription box, sew this one up because it goes together really fast. And so I really enjoyed it. My next dilemma is, do I add a border, and what color? I think I want to add a border to make it a little bit bigger. Let me see what it measures. 58.5 by 58.5. So I would like to add maybe a 4.5-inch border all the way around, maybe. So now I have to decide what color of the fruit cocktail fabrics do I want to use. So if y'all have any ideas on what colors, give me whatever you think in the comments below. So I am going to add a border. It's just what color to add, what fabric to add. But so right now we're going to sew up, like I said, the pressed flowers block number 2 from May, and it's the Hyacinth. So really cute block, and just like the other, it is on point. I've changed my camera angle a little bit, so I'm hoping to I'm going to put it down so you'll have a better view. So far I have got all my fabrics cut, and they've been cut for a little bit. I just haven't been able to get the video done. So I have all these cut. I have all my lines drawn on, I think it was the C, D, and F blocks that have to, they'll be corner squares. And if you watched before, most of this is I did a sitar, except that is not, and I can't remember if that is or not. I'll look again. But these are my fabrics to give you a little more up close version. So we're going to get to sewing. I'm going to move the camera down so you can see right here in front of me how I put the block together. I tried to read over it a little bit, so, I didn't make any mistakes, but, what's sewing without making some mistakes? Okay, so I've got the camera moved down, and hopefully you'll be able to see right here anyway what I'm sewing. So my first step is to take the E block, and again, because it's not my pattern, so I can't share the measurements. So I'm going to take this E block and the D squares, and then I have to sew it in the top left-hand corner. And so I'll pin that down, and I have to make 3 of those. So I'll put it up over here. And if you've noticed, I've got my Juki back. I got my new 1/4-inch foot, but guess what? I'm pretty sure it's the same as my old 1/4-inch foot, unfortunately. But so I will have to really, I have to really watch myself, because I tend to use the guard as, I butt my fabric up against that guard, but I really can't do that. So to be accurate and to have a correct 1/4-inch, I really have to watch my foot, unfortunately. Well, I can't pin the D on there. And these are the alphabetties from one of the sew sampler box. It was their Christmas box, I guess, the Jolly box. I didn't tell y'all that during the last video. So I do those 3, and then I'll have to I didn't change my foot. Let's see if I can sew without changing the foot, because well, I forgot all about doing that. I do have my sewing feet right here behind the machine. So we'll see if I can sew on the line with this foot. The best part of the Juki, I swear, is the thread cutter on the foot pedal. Even when I went back to my Bernina, I kept trying to stop or cut my thread on the foot pedal. That will work. And that will work. Okay, so all of these look fine. I just have to trim off the back. I'm going to press them down. Of course, my iron's not hot, so we'll see while my iron's warming up what our next step is. Okay, so I have the next step will be for the G fabrics here. I will again take the F fabric, which is this. These are my Fs. And I have to make 2 of these. And that looks like the bottom right. These are teeny tiny. I will not be keeping those. That's a bit much. Okay, so we've got those 3, and I have to square them up. Let's see how much they're off. Oh, not by much. So is everybody sewing up the blocks? Are you all enjoying them? So far, so good. Of course, I've only sewed one. But I like the fabrics that they picked, and I think mine are similar. And I do have the layer cake. If you got to see my video, I've got the layer cake of the Bunny Hill Sugarberry. Yeah. And so I can actually incorporate that in with what I have. But I'm going to try to go with what I have for right now. So, okay. Now I'm going to sew these 2 on. All right, now I'll trim off the back. Make sure to only trim what you need to trim off. Okay, so now our next step is we take our H block, which are these. See, it says make 2 of this. And now we take our C block, which are these. And we make 2 of these. So I'm only going to need 2. I've already drawn the line, and we'll place those in the upper right-hand corner. Press. Okay, here these are. Now, of course, we're going to turn this back. I'm going to trim this off at 1/4 inch on your line or on your stitch line. That's really small, but I'll think about it. Okay, so we've got these right here. Trim this off. I like this ruler better for trimming. So our next step is we are going to take the other 2 C blocks and we're going to put them at the other corner. across from what we just did. So I'll be caught up here with the 2 blocks, and then our box should be coming in probably within, I don't know, maybe a week or 2. So it'll be time to sew block 3. I'm interested to see what it will look like. Get these pressed down. We'll make the stem of the flower. You know what we'll do? We'll just sew these up that I've cut off and see how big they are. Why not? Let's go ahead and put that under there. All right, so that are these blocks. So this is the H squares and the C squares. I don't know if I can, they'll probably be in my way, so I'll just set those over here for right now. And these are right here. There's just not enough space. Okay, so our next step is to take the other 2 H blocks, squares, and the D squares, and we're going to sew to the top left. And I'll just go ahead and sew those on. Okay, so I have to remember this is not a 1/4 inch foot, but I do have a line. Is everybody enjoying their summer? It's been actually cool here in the last 2 days, which, you know, it's summer. I'm not a fan of I want it to be summer, but I guess it's what I'm gonna get. So this is what the cutoffs look like sewn together. So it's about, I guess you could trim it down to, well, it's 1 3/4 inches, so you might be able to keep it like that, or trim it down to 1.5 inches. Press these. Okay. Let's trim this off. That's too small to keep. Oh. Need the ruler, not the other block. Okay, so now we will add the other 2 blocks on the bottom right. Press, trim, that is, trim the excess threads off. Okay, so this is a lot of corner square cutaways, I guess. All right, so now it looks like we can assemble our block. Okay, I am laying out the block. I'm gonna try to get as much in so you can see as possible. And these are my A rectangles. And these are my B squares. Another B square. An A rectangle. I must have something missing. I do. This goes right here. Well, look at that. So that really, for the most part, got sewn up pretty quick as far as all this. So now it's time to piece it all together. So let's see what the best suggestion that they have to sew this up. Looks like we're going to sew these together. No, we're going to sew it in rows like this. So it's a good thing I didn't go with what I thought at first. I actually had to look at the directions. So we're going to assemble this block going row by row the way I have it laid out vertically. So I'm going to start over here and get this block sewn up. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just at least chain piece the first row here. When it comes to blocks like this, I don't like to chain piece them all the time because I have been known to not sew them together the right way. So a lot of times I will sew each block and then lay it back out. So we're going to press towards the pinker block. And that goes there. And this we're going to press to the cream color. Sounds like I may need to change my needle on this machine. And I'm going to press to the red. And that is our first row sewn. So now we'll go on to the next. Okay. Everything is ironed, looks like up this way. Or pressed. So now this, connect onto here, and we'll press to the red. So all of our seams on this block will nest. And if you've watched me in my videos, I do like to nest my seams. I really don't like to press open. I know they say it doesn't, if you make your stitch length smaller, that it won't come apart. But since I do long arm my own quilts, they do come apart. And if you do a quilt and you press open and you don't have a border, you better make sure that you do a stay stitch all the way around that quilt, which I usually do anyway. But I think it does make your seams a little weaker. And I'm sure somebody's going to disagree, but so that's my advice. If you're going to press open, make sure your stitches are very small. And if your whole quilt is that way, make sure that you do a stay stitch around your quilt if you do not have borders. Now I'm going to press. See, I'm going to press towards the leaf. And this I'm going to press toward the cream color. So now I'm going to sew these two together like this. And press towards the stem. Here's this block. Just one more row left to piece together. Try to speed it up some. Okay, so now I sew this top rectangle onto the leaf and the stem piece. Press towards the bigger rectangle. Well, the only rectangle. So this is what our rows look like. Now we're just going to sew those together, and I'm going to go ahead and get that part done, and maybe this block will go together pretty easy. All right, let's see what it looks like. See if all my pieces meet, all that good stuff, all my points, and yay, they do. And I guess it's up to us on how we want to press. Sew these together. Should nest again. And I've got more thread here that I want to get rid of. I don't want to sew that in there if I don't have to. Just add more bulk to it. And all of our points meet here too. So I'm going to press this way. All right, so I'll show you the two halves right here. Let's see. So now I'm gonna sew these two together. I'll turn around where I can tell what it is. Make sure I've got everything sewn right so far. And yep, so now we'll sew this last seam and hope everything lines up. And we're gonna make it line up. Let's hope that works out. And looks like the points meet. I just might need to trim up a little bit. And here's our block. But I am gonna trim. I saw somewhere where it looked a little crooked. Right here. Let's see what's going on there. But I'll even that up, and I'm gonna press it a little bit better. But this is the Hyacinth quilt block. I guess I should turn it this way because this is actually the way it will go. So this block, other than my sewing machine malfunctions, goes together pretty quick. Make sure I have it right, because it did go together pretty quick. So this is block 2 of the pressed flower sew along from Fat Quarter Shop and the Sew Sampler box. So if you get it and you want to sew along, come on with me. Then we should be getting the other box here within, I guess, 2 weeks. So I'll have another video out of the 3rd block. And also, if you saw the beginning of the video, I really do like that block. I sewed the Casa from the May box also, which was this. And I don't know if they sell this pattern on their website. I think it's only in the box. But if you're interested, I think they are selling the boxes too. They're really reasonable. I can't remember exactly how much they are. Seems like, you know, $24, $25, somewhere in that range. And I got a pattern, a quilt. I did have to add the, you know, background and borders, but I already had that. And I used a white on white fabric. So I thought that it's a pretty good deal. So I get the pattern for this and the sew along in the box. And I got the pattern for that little quilt. So, and as you see behind me, I've got the other block hanging up over there besides some other stuff I'm doing. So, if you're interested in doing the sew along, but you're not a member of the Sew Sampler, it's not too late to sign up, I'm sure. And I think they later on will sell these patterns. So that's my block 2. And I have to find my remote here. There it is, to turn the camera off. But I guess I will see you guys on the next one. And if you could, like, share, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.